Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is the start of, I guess, the return of baseball. Hopefully, and I mean hopefully, um, what's been going on with the frickin' Marlins little situation doesn't put the season on hold or potentially end the season. We would not want that now, would we? So yeah. Let's go. And we're here to talk baseball here. And the one thing I'm here to talk about is Angels baseball. I am an Angels fan, a vivid Angels fan, and I love this team to death. At the same time, this team pisses me off if you're an Angels fan as well. We have one of the best players in the MLB, if not up there for potential of greatest of all time in Mike Trout. I know for regular MLB fans, I said that. But if you really do doubt that, then you are just, I don't know. Look, listen, baseball's back. Well, hopefully it will be back. But, you know, um, we're here to talk about the opening series, the opening day series. Angels versus, your Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim versus the heated rivals in the Oakland Athletics. And man, was this series depressing. And when I mean depressing, I'm talking about there was times where you were happy, which was more than likely game 2 of the series. And there was times like the first game 1, game 3, and game 4, you were just pulling your hair out, pissed off. What we Angel fans are accustomed to doing. So we're here to deal with this. And yeah, so let's get to it and let's focus on the stats of these games. I'm going to be going through essentially all the games. I'm going to be putting, as you can see on your screen, the stats are up there already. I didn't really put the relieving pitchers. I only put the starting pitcher, and then the offensive players. I didn't put any pinch hitter batters or anything. I'll remember that from obviously my memory. But anyways, we're here to talk about Angels baseball. So anyways, the season's bright. The season's bright. My expectations for the Angels is playoffs. And the reason why is because the playoffs are expanded. And right now, it's not looking good for us. It is not looking good for us. If we want to make the playoffs, you either got to be first or second place, which I think is actually more possible now in terms of making second place, but you have to have one of the two best remaining records in the American League. I definitely think the Angels can do that, and essentially the AL to get to the playoffs is wide open. And if the Angels can't make the playoffs in the expanded role, then there really are some issues that this team needs to work out. And so other than that, guys, I'm going to get through game 1. Now, game 1, it seems like the curse of us not winning opening day games still exists because we still have yet to win an opening day game for quite a while. So the Athletics ended up beating the Angels 7-3 in extra innings. Obviously, we all know Matt Olson hit the game-winning grand slam, and stuff like that. So the starting pitchers for the game were Andrew Heaney and Frankie Montas. Andrew Heaney went 4.2 innings pitched, which he should have stayed in the game longer because he was dealing. But thanks to Joe Madden, he freaking pulled him early on. Heaney only gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run off a home run, and he had 3 strikeouts. I thought Heaney, for what he did, was actually pretty good, on his opening day start. He came in, he dealt, and it sucks that he had to be taken out, although he gave up 1 home run. And he really essentially kind of made the Athletics offense literally do next to near nothing. Now, as for Frankie Montas went only 4 innings pitched. He gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and he had 5 strikeouts. So I thought Frankie Montas did good. I say we got to him for a few times, but the moment he kind of got taken out, that's when we kind of got to him and stuff like that. I did not like the way we started off the game. We clearly had the Athletics on really the defensive. And the thing about this game was we left 12 runners in scoring position. We left 12 runners on base, and we didn't bring not one single one home of those 12 runners. And that can't happen because today's game, which was game 4, we left only one short of that and 11 runners on base. And if we're going to win games, guys, if the Angels are going to win games, they need to score with runners in running position. So if there is a guy on second base and all he needs to do is be brought in by a single or maybe another double or hit a home run, listen, you got to do it and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about only the Angels hitting this series when I get to game 4. Angels game 1 offensive stats. David Fletcher, who was phenomenal this entire series. He was arguably, I have to say, my MVP of this series, along with and that's for the offense. For defense, my defensive MVP goes out to Dylan Bundy for his performance too. So David Fletcher, like I said, who was amazing this series, he went 1 for 4, 1 RBI, and had 2 strikeouts. Mike Trout went 1 for 3, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Shohei Ohtani went 1 for 5, 1 strikeout. Justin Upton, like typical fashion, Justin Upton, 0 for 4, 1 strikeout. Not surprised. I'm very disappointed in Justin Upton. Other than that 1 home run he hit, I believe it was game 3. Tommy La Stella went 1 for 4, 1 walk. Albert Pujols, 0 for 4. He was garbage this freaking series. And, man, can he either step his game up or just retire because his 40-year-old counterpart in Nelson Cruz is freaking killing it for the Twins. Honestly, Albert Pujols, to me right now, is being a waste of a freaking roster space. He had 1 run. He was one of the runs. He had 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Juan Castro, who hit the game-tying home run in the bottom of the 9th of this game, went 1 for 3. He was one of the runs, 1 RBI, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. Andrelton Simmons, hopefully he's okay after today's game. He went 1 for 5, and he was one of the 3 runs. Brian Goodwin, he went 1 for 3, 1 RBI, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. The one thing I see here is about this offensive lineup is I believe Jesus, 8 guys struck out. That's not good. And some of the times, the guys who were striking out were pathetic. That first inning in the first game when we had the momentum, let's just say we had back-to-back strikeouts with Justin Upton and Albert Pujols, and it was disgusting. It was disgusting. I'm going to talk about the Angels hitting when we get to the end of the video. But, it was bad. It was freaking bad. I'm not even going to get to that, stuff like that. Now, as for the Oakland Athletics, well, surprisingly, we did well this series is actually limit 2 guys that actually do damage to us almost all the time we play Oakland, and that is in Marcus Semien and Chris Davis. I was highly impressed. Now, Marcus Semien, he did get a few hits here and there in the later games, but he didn't really do any damage, like damage where he's killing us. Same as for Chris Davis. He was not, his home run hit himself, which, my goodness, can Chris Davis, just only hit singles or, try to go for doubles or just put the ball in play in general? I would be stressing out if I was an Athletics fan just seeing Chris Davis strike out. He's like their version of Justin Upton. He's a power hitter who only likes to hit the home runs. Other than that, he's more than likely striking out. Now, the stats for Marcus Semien in Game 1, he went over 4. He scored 2 of the Athletics runs. He had 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Ramon Laureano, who was killing us this series, went 2 for 3. He scored. He was 3 of the runs for Oakland. Had 2 RBIs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and he was the lone home run Andrew Heaney gave up. Matt Chapman which I thought he was honest to goodness garbage this series too. He literally was garbage until today's game. He wanted to show up. He was 1 for 5, 1 RBI, and he had 1 strikeout. I don't know, he had 2 freaking errors this series. So yeah, great job, Matt Chapman. He's so good. I don't think Matt Chapman's that good. He's not that good. He's not that good. Chris Davis, like I just said, he was garbage this series too, which was good for the Angels. Still sucks that the Angels ended up losing the series in this garbage play of his, but he went 0 for 3. He was one of the runs for Oakland. 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Matt Olson, who hit the game-winning home run in extra innings, was 2 for 4. He was one of the Athletics runs. He had 4 RBIs this game, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and then again, like I said, 1 home run. Chad Pinder, he was just 1 for 3. Mark Kanan, or I don't know how you pronounce his name. Mark Kanan, 1 for 4, but with 2 strikeouts. Steven Piscotty, 0 for 3, 1 walk. Sean Murphy, 0 for 2, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. I guess the only other takeaway from the game I could say, and I know you can say, what are you going to talk about the bullpen? I'll talk about that at the end too. The extra innings rule, I do not like it, but I guess it's going to work out for this season. One, the Angels probably should have bunted, the first inning of the extra innings, but no, they didn't. And then, Shohei Ohtani had pretty bad base running. I will say, I'll give credit to the Athletics. In the 2 times we had base running blunders, they just went straight for the guy who could be the person that scores us a run. I thought it was bad base running by Ohtani. I do know now either you're going to teams are going to probably start bunting, or if they hit like how the Angels did, the person who's the runner on base is more than likely going to make sure to look at whoever receives the ball in the infield if it's the second baseman. This game was game 1 for the opening day was very winnable, very winnable. I was actually pretty heated that we did not win this game because, like I said, we had 12 people left on base who had chances to get runs, and we just can't allow that. The Angels can't allow that. The Angels can't allow that to happen. Now, game 2, the Angels needed to win this game because it's a 60-game season. You cannot be on losing streaks, which sadly we are on right now. But I went into this game and was like, okay, we need to win this game. But then I just remembered, Ohtani's going to pitch game 3, which means we're going to have no power in the lineup. So we're going to have freaking a terrible lineup. And when I mean terrible lineup, you got guys like Taylor Ward, Max Stassi, Marco Hermosillo, who can barely hit over freaking 100. So anyways, yeah, but guess what? Shock and surprise, game 2, the Angels win, and they beat Oakland. So the Angels win by the score of 4-1. The starting pitchers of this game were Dylan Bundy and Sean Manaea. Dylan Bundy, who was phenomenal, and like I said, he is the defensive MVP in terms of pitching performance this series. He went 6.2 innings pitched. He only gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, and 7 Ks. Now, that 1 earned run, that was when a bullpen guy came in because Joe Maddon just likes to take guys out with 2 outs only. So really that 1 earned run shouldn't mean anything. Honestly, we should have shut out the Athletics this game like the Athletics shut us out today. Sean Manaea went 4.2 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, gave up 4 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and gave up 1 home run to Mike Trout. No, not Mike Trout. Justin Upton. I actually thought this game, Sean Manaea would do really good against us, but he actually struggled against us, which, hey, whenever we play the Athletics and play them, hopefully we have the same luck. Stats-wise for the Angels on the offense side of game 2, David Fletcher went 1 for 3, 2 RBIs, 1 walk. Mike Trout, 0 for 4, 1 strikeout. This was not his worst game of the series. Today's game was Mike Trout's worst game of the series. Taylor Ward went 1 for 4. He was one of the Angels' runs, and he had 2 strikeouts. Justin Upton went 1 for 4. He was one of the Angels' run, 1 RBI, and he hit the home run today. I know I didn't put in the stats because I forgot about that. And he also had 1 strikeout because Justin Upton always has a strikeout a game. Tommy LaStella went 1 for 4, 1 strikeout. Albert Pujols, in this point in time, is still 0 for 4, which means he's 0 for 8 now in terms of these games too. Max Stassi went 1 for 3. He was one of our runs and had 1 strikeout. Andrelton Simmons, 1 for 3, one of our runs, and had 1 RBI. And Marco Hermosillo, 0 for 3. Okay, yeah, but you want to tell me, I know, at this point, I'm come to the point, it's like, okay, I know Joe Adell's defense, still needs to be tuned up and improve, but come on. You're going to tell me you're going to have Michael Hermosillo over Joe Adell? at this point, and even after right now, honestly, I want Joe Adele just to come up. And if he bloops in the freaking defense, I'm like, okay, that's practice for him. So what? It will get him in-game experience because if you're telling me he can be a bat we can go to and he can put pressure on a freaking pitcher and he can get hits when we need him to get hits, then bring him up. At this point, I could care less about his defense. I need the offense. Again, you know, as you look at the stat line, we did get 4 runs, but as you look at the stat line for the Angels, most Angels either went hitless or only had 1 hit this game. So that's not, to me, I don't think that's pretty impressive. And I know, you know, they're getting back in shape of the season and stuff like that because it's like spring training, but still. And also, can I just say this? Can the Angels stop taking on pitches that are being thrown right down the middle, but then they swing at the stupid stuff? But that will lead into my hitting stuff in terms of what I thought about our hitting. As for the Oakland Athletics stats, Marcus Semien went 1 for 4 with 1 strikeout. Ramon Laureano went 2 for 4. Matt Chapman 0 for 4. I told you he was terrible this series. Even you have to admit that, Oakland Athletic fans. He had 1 strikeout. Chris Davis, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Matt Olson, you know, it was honestly, after this game, seeing him go over 4 was great because he was, for some reason, the Oakland Athletics, after they had hit the game-winning home run, had a pile. I really hope they really did check and do their test. He had 1 strikeout. Chad Pinder went 0 for 2, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Robbie Grossman, 1 for 3, 1 RBI. And Steven Piscotty, who was the only lone run, went 1 for 4 and 1 strikeout. Austin Allen, 1 for 3. I was glad we won this game. Dylan Bundy really looked really good. And if he keeps it up, Andrew Heaney, Dylan Bundy, and when Ohtani finds out his stuff, man. And then Griffin Canning, we know Griffin Canning, you know, he was pretty good today. You know, even though he struggled in the 3rd inning and gave up those 3 runs. But you know, so far the first 2 guys, and when Ohtani figures it out, you know, we actually have, honestly, which is one of my shining points to start off the season, one of the positives to start off the season is our starting pitching is actually pretty good this year. And if they keep it up, you know, this could be actually, you know, a pretty underrated rotation. Like I said, Ohtani, you know, as I'm going to get into in a few minutes, he's going to have to find himself. You know, obviously he didn't do good, but yeah. And Griffin Canning, if he does, you know, what he did, you know, today where he only just limits 3 runs, which I think limiting 3 runs isn't bad. You know, 3 runs, if you're going to tell me you're only going to give up 3 runs in a game, okay, what do you want to expect? Your offense needs to help you out. So, you know, I think and then Matt Andrees too, who was supposed to be in the rotation. He was actually probably supposed to start actually tomorrow's game against Seattle, but because he had to come in for Shohei yesterday, you know, I thought he did pretty good. So this rotation, the starting rotation, looks like it's going to be a pretty underrated rotation. So we're here game 3. This is the big anticipated game of Shohei Ohtani's return to the mound in essentially a live game format. Too bad, it sucks to say, it didn't go too well for him. So game 3, we ended up losing this game. And the Athletics beat the Angels 6-4. The starting pitching was obviously the very highly anticipated Shohei Ohtani, which he had a very, and I mean very bad start. Honest to goodness, it was kind of hard to watch. If you ask me, it kind of reminded me of the Boston Red Sox game from last season when Boston just lit him up. And then we found out it was like, you know, blisters were the reason why. But, you know, he was – that really took me back. Now, Shohei Ohtani, his stat line, now on the website, it said he pitched, you know, in 0 innings, but I said he only pitched 1 inning, but he got taken out in that same 1 inning. Yeah, he gave up 3 hits, 5 earned runs, and 3 walks. Shohei, he obviously this is his first time coming back off Tommy John surgery. His velo definitely wasn't there. Like the first few fastballs, he was like the fastballs he was throwing that entire pitch around. He was the highest he was throwing was 93, and I think one time he only threw 95. But his velo, his velocity wasn't there. His command was definitely off, and the controls of his pitches were off as well. And it's like the Angels analyst on Angels Live said, it's what you expect. It's kind of what you expect, and it's probably better he has this because, you're not going to come back the same pitcher, one, since he took off legit 2 years and he hasn't pitched in a live game format. I think the more thing is Shohei will have to pitch more to not only get all that stuff back, but to also get his confidence back. I think Mark Gubas on the broadcast said it like the moment he gave it the first hit, you could possibly see that Ohtani, his confidence was a little shaken. I guess you can say this is the Athletics' way of getting Ohtani back for the few times Ohtani, pitched against these guys and, did a really good, effective job against, them because Ohtani, to honest goodness, the last couple of seasons, when it was his first season, he was the freaking Oakland Athletics killer. Like legit, Oakland could not figure this guy out. So I'll tip your hats to freaking, tip your caps off to Oakland. They saw this guy was struggling here coming off his Tommy John surgery, and they just exploited him. So that was their payback. So hopefully Shohei Ohtani gets another chance at these guys and pays them back. But in the meantime, Matt Andriese actually came in for Ohtani after being pulled in the first inning, and Matt Andriese surprised me, and he did really good. He was just as good as Dylan Bundy and Andrew Heaney. He went 5.2 innings pitched, and I still think Joe Madden pulled him out way too early when he was dealing. And I think the reason why they pulled him out is so they could possibly see if he'd be ready for a start against Seattle, but guess what? He's not even going to be starting against Seattle. He had 3 hits, 1 walk, and he had 5 strikeouts. Matt Andriese was really good. One of the bright spots of this series, most definitely. One of the bright spots of the series. And like I said, I already talked about the starting pitching. Our starting pitching seems like it can be very underrated. Mike Fierce, who's the opposing pitcher for the A's, he went 4 innings pitched. He gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and 1 home run. And that 1 home run is to our boy Mike Trout, which Mike Trout, because of the home run, got us back into the game until Matt Andriese was taken out for Noe Ramirez. And Noe Ramirez first pitch, what happens? Gives them, the extended lead, and then boom. That's essentially it. And it was essentially game at that point. In terms of the Angels offense, David Fletcher, who was phenomenal this game, arguably his best game of the series, which also gave me honors of naming him offensive MVP for the Angels. He went 4 for 4 and was one of the Angels' run. Mike Trout went 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs, was one of the Angels' runs. Matt Thaiss, 0 for 2. Tommy La Stella, 0 for 4. Justin Upton, 0 for 4. 2 strikeouts. Are you seeing a repeated fashion with Justin Upton? I know. Brian Goodwin, 2 for 4, 2 runs. Jason Castro, 0 for 4. Angel DeSimmons, 0 for 4. Jarrett Walsh, 0 for 3. You want to see now, as you clearly looking at the stats of this game. What's something that you see that is really insane? Oh yes, 3 guys carried this offense, in David Fletcher, Mike Trout, and Brian Goodwin. Everyone else didn't decide to bring their best today or help out the offense whatsoever. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. 6 guys in your lineup went hitless. Again, why do we have guys like Jared Walsh on this lineup? Our Michael Hermosillo, our Taylor Ward, who can barely buy a hit. But yet, the Angels are so worried about Joe Adell's defensive tendencies. And I want the guy to improve his defense. But if I know Joe Adell is going to get me a hit and get me a bat that I know he's going to put the ball in play and he's going to get hits, you might as well bring him up and make him learn the old-fashioned way. Make him learn the old-fashioned way and, who knows, improve. So that's the one thing that stood out to me, about this game for the Angels offense. 3 guys did something. Everyone else, nothing. And we had chances to score and get back into this game. We really did. As for the Athletics, Marcus Semien probably, I think, was his best game of the series. 2 for 4. He was one of the Athletics run. Raman Laureano, 1 for 3, 1 walk, 1 of the Athletics run. Matt Chapman, 0 for 3, 1 walk, but one of the Athletics run. Tony Kemp, 0 for 3, 1 strikeout. Matt Olson, 0 for 2, 1 RBI, though off a sac fly, I believe. 2 walks, and 1 of the Athletics runs. Vimiel Machine, 0 for 3. Mark Kanan, 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, 1 walk, and 1 of the Athletics run. Robbie Grossman, 2 for 3, 1 RBI, 1 walk, and Sean Murphy, 1 for 3, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout, and was one of the Oakland Athletics runs. So after this game, I was like, okay, now we're back in the losing. We definitely need to win, which was today's game. And guess what happened? Obviously, as we know now, we didn't end up winning today's game because it wouldn't make no sense that we would win today's game. So game 4 of this game, we get shut out today. Oakland beats us from the score of 3-0. Starting pitchers of this game was Griffin Canning and Chris Bassett for the Oakland Athletics. Griffin Canning went 4.2 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, and it gave up 1 home run. And there you go. That was really the only he gave up that 1 home run, and that's it. Other than that, Griffin Canning had a pretty solid outing, if you ask me. If you're telling me he's only going to give up 3 runs, honestly, I expect the offense to get more than 3 runs than the Oakland Athletics. Sad thing said, they didn't. Even though Chris Bassett in 4 innings pitched gave up 5 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Yeah. Okay, now let's get to the Angels offense. David Fletcher, 2 for 4. Another great day from David Fletcher. Another great day. Offensive MVP. So far, he's the best player on the Angels as of today, right now. He is so far the best offensive player the Angels have right now. And but we are Mike Trout. In terms of what I'm seeing, right now, David Fletcher is getting on base, whether he's taking walks or whether he's getting hits. Right now, he's the Angels' best offensive weapon right now. Mike Trout is probably second, and then Brian Goodwin. Mike Trout, so David Fletcher, 2 for 4, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Mike Trout had his worst day, had his worst game of the series. He went 0 for 4, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. And as you saw, the last out the Athletics get. I don't know if you ask me. That was the first time I seen Mike Trout do a pretty good Bryce Harper impersonation in terms of getting pissed at the umpire for calling a strike. And I don't blame him. The strike, it wasn't even a strike. It was a ball. Most clearly it was a ball. It was high in the zone. And umpires, for some reason, they just like to call that high strike on Mike Trout. And you can clearly see Mike Trout was very frustrated with that strike call. And I said it in my tweet. Mike Trout looked like he was pissed, rightfully justified, but it also looked like he was just ready to get up out of Oakland. Like, seriously. I think the entire team was ready to get up out of Oakland because, my God, for some reason, every time we play Oakland, we get in a dogfight with them, even though Oakland is a good team, but they're not that good. In terms of the Angels, they have much better personnel than the Angels. The Angels have much better personnel than the Oakland Athletics, if you ask me. And that only comes down to if the Angels want to decide to hit. So, yeah, Mike Trout had his, like I said, worst game of the series. Hopefully he turns it around tomorrow against Seattle. Because Seattle, Mike Trout is the Seattle killer. Shohei Ohtani, 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. He did not do a good job today. Shohei Ohtani, he was striking out pretty much left and right, and he wasn't good hitting. Justin Upton, 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Did next to nothing. So, as well as he likes to take pitches when it's striking out. At this point, honestly, I want Joe Adele to come in here, and we're talking about Joe Adele replacing Brian Goodwin, maybe Joe Adele should replace Justin Upton because the dude always strikes out every time we look. You know, so many times we can depend on Justin Upton. Oh, wait. No, I've been saying this, guys. I've been saying this watching the Angels. The only really good season Justin Upton had with the Angels was when we first traded for him. After he got his money, he strikes out 90% of the time. Every time he comes to the bat, I guarantee you, I always call it. I call it. Oh, Justin Upton's up to bat. Strikeout. A few pitches later, strikeout. Okay, move on. Tommy La Stella went 2 for 3. 1 walk. Albert Pujols, who finally got his first hit. Jesus, it was a single. Heck, this entire game, all we hit was singles. We had like 1 double. So yeah. He also had 1 strikeout. Jason Castro, 1 for 2, 1 strikeout. Andrelton Simmons, 1 for 4. But in that 1 hit he got in this game, he comes down with the ankle injury when he kind of twists his ankle on the back of the bat, on the back of the base, which looked like it sucked, and he needed to be helped. So it seems like Andrelton Simmons will probably be gone for some time. Brian Goodwin went 0 for 2. The Angels offense this game was anemic and horrible. 1, the base running was complete shit. Can I just say that? The base running was complete crap. There was 1 part in the game where we hit a very deep double. And if you did not watch Angels live, Tim Salmon was actually ripping the Angels apart. I kid you not. He was ripping the Angels apart in terms of the hitting department. He talks about the time when he's talking about the time, like I said, the deep double. We had 2 guys on base. So the double happened. I'm like, okay, we should definitely score a run. We score no runs because when they cut back to that highlight in Angels Live, you see Justin Upton looking and jogging at the same time like Oakland is going to catch it. And this is what I'm talking about. Justin Upton is lazy. I always say when on defense, he's a lazy outfielder because he doesn't care. He has his money, so why play? You know, you're just going out there to play now. You know, he's literally jogging, and then the moment he sees the ball drops, then he starts speeding. But guess what? It's already too late because the A's have already thrown the ball near into the infield, which Tim Salmon even said, I'm like, you should have scored at least 1 run on that attempt. Makes no sense. And then the next hit, you know, somebody grounds out to Matt Chapman. Stupid Justin Upton is running for home plate like Matt Chapman's going to throw the first base runner out. No, Matt Chapman just throws to home base, and he's like, you're not scoring this run, you know? And I'm like, what are you doing? So that totally ruined the scoring chance at a, like, really bad. A few batters later, we get the bases loaded with 2 outs. Who's up to bat? Andrelton Simmons, and he swings for something in the dirt. And what happens? A little bloop ground out, and then Andrelton Simmons is out. And then that's the end of the inning. And that was the closest we ever got to potentially tying the game. But, okay, the Angels batting wants to be – we have these top hitters, but these smart hitters aren't good. Again, well, hopefully when Andrelton Simmons comes back, can we get the Andrelton Simmons who was legit contending for an all-star spot and got snubbed? The one that actually hit balls into play and had like that 1 career year of his. I would really appreciate that. But, you know, this game for the Angels offense honestly might have been the worst game next to the opening day game. Oakland stats, Marcus Semien went 1 for 4, had 1 strikeout, 1 run. Raman Laureano, who literally finally did nothing this series, went 0 for 2, had 1 RBI, 1 walk. Matt Chapman, for some reason, decided to have his best day, have his best game of the series because he was utter crap this series. 3 for 4, 1 RBI, and 1 strikeout. Tony Kemp, 0 for 2, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and used one of the Athletics' runs. Matt Olson, 0 for 3, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Steven Piscotty, who I thought was actually garbage. Jesus, now looking at Steven Piscotty, he was garbage this series. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Mark Cannon, 2 for 4. Was the one who hit the home run against Griffin Canning. 1 RBI, 1 strikeout. I know it was one of the runs for Oakland. Chris Davis, like I said, terrible this series. 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Sean Murphy, 0 for 3, 1 strikeout. You know, listen, and with that, the Angels lose the series 1-3. Or the Athletics take the series 3-1, which that's not good. And the Angels' record is 1-3. So, starting tomorrow, the Angels need to get on a winning streak against the Seattle Mariners, especially before they play Houston, because that's the next team they play after Seattle. So if we can get a sweep against Seattle, that is good. That is good because then in the standings, you're still in a good spot, especially going into the Houston Astros series. So that's another good thing. I thought for the most part, the Angels played decent to poor to below average. The only game I was really stunned by was game 2. The more I look at it now, this Angel offense desperately needs freaking Anthony Rendon. So hopefully Anthony Rendon, they said he's supposed to come back tomorrow, but who knows? So Anthony Rendon, this lineup definitely needs Anthony Rendon. Like there was that one part in game 1 in the 9th inning, or it was, I forgot the one inning where we were coming back and, obviously the Athletics, David Fletcher gets on base and Mike Trout's up to bat. Okay, and then the Oakland Athletics intentionally walk him to bring on Shohei Ohtani, and then he ends up striking out. You cannot lie to me because Anthony Rendon will be batting behind Trout. You cannot lie to me. If you can redo that situation, but Anthony Rendon's playing, the A's cannot intentionally walk Mike Trout. Because if you intentionally walk him, you're going to freaking walk Mike Trout for who? One of the best hitters in the league in Anthony Rendon. Yeah, that's just idiotic. So, the way I look at it, now looking at for game 4, this lineup desperately needs Anthony Rendon in this lineup. So we can get another bat who we know can go out there and get a hit, and stuff like that. So, like I said, and then the hitting, like I said, going back to the hitting was very poor. I've been saying it. The Angels' my problem with the Angels hitting is this. They have very bad plate awareness. Very bad plate awareness in terms of adjusting to the previous at-bat or even adjusting during the at-bat. Because when they need to be, and even Tim Salmon brought it up, he's like, sometimes you see the Angels hitter getting like aggressive and swinging for pitches that are clearly, you have no business swinging for. And that's the problem. When the Angels get aggressive or when the freaking, when the Angels need to get aggressive, they get passive and there's like, I can't even count you how many times there were like straight balls the athletic pitchers threw right down the middle, and the Angels are like, and they just look and they take it. And it's like, why are you taking it? Like, why are you taking it? Like, honest to goodness, why are you taking that? And it makes no sense. It makes no sense. So anyway, and then, on the opposite, when they want to be passive, they get passive instead of being aggressive. It's the opposite. So it's like me thinking about it's the hitting coach. No, it's the players because they don't adjust to the situation at hand. They're letting balls go right down the middle, but on the other side of the ball, you see the Athletics, they get aggressive when there's balls thrown down the middle. Another thing in the series that was actually pretty pointed out. Can I just say this? Even Athletics fans have to admit, the home plate umpiring this series was awful. Awful. You had some of these umpires calling balls that were clearly strikes in the zone, whether it was for the Angels or the Athletics. Like, there was one time a ball was clearly outside the zone, strike. And I'm like, huh? What are these umpires seeing? I don't know if the sunlight affected their vision, but these 4 umpires couldn't tell what a strike or a ball was. If you're going to tell me that, then you might as well get the robots to come freaking call strikes or the automated strike zone, because these guys cannot tell a strike or a ball. So hopefully going to the Seattle series, we do not get that too, because if we do, I don't know. I can't take it. And that's the same thing that happened to Shohei Ohtani. There was a few times where he threw some pretty good pitches that were strikes. The home plate umpire wasn't giving him the calls. that's another thing. And then the last thing I got to talk about before I end the video off is whoo, next to our hitting, which seems to be one of the worst things about this team. Can I just say the bullpen's like looks like complete garbage? Like the bullpen looks like garbage. Oh my God. The first game, they could not throw for a strike. There was only like two players, which were, I think, Myers and Robles, who threw strikes. Other than that, Noe Ramirez, who else? I can't remember. But they couldn't throw strikes for anything. The bullpen so far looks like one of the worst things ever. The only bright spots of the bullpen seems to be Cam Bedrosian, which shockingly, Robles looked pretty good, and then Myers looked pretty good. Other than that, the rest of the bullpen sucked, and they put themselves into these situations, like Keenan Middleton. He put himself in this situation. He got out of the jam, but he put himself in an unnecessary situation. Noah Ramirez in Game 3, after Andres gets taken out. Stupidly, I kid you not. What's the first pitch Noah Ramirez does? Home run, which essentially ends the game for the Angels in any attempt in coming back. So, look, the bullpen needs to get their shit together. The bullpen needs to get their shit together and start playing better than what they did this season or what they did this series. So, yeah, they're living up to expectations of what I like to call them, the blow pen, which if anything goes wrong where the Angels have a lead, when you go to the bullpen, the blow pen, because most every pitcher in that bullpen for the Angels is a blower or a choker. Doesn't matter. Other than that, that's really it for the series. Look, this series was disappointing. Honestly, I made a tweet saying, look, I'm just glad this series is over with so we can get the F out of Oakland and go back to Anaheim and play against a team we honestly dominate in the Seattle Mariners. So hopefully the Angels get back on track against Seattle, and I want a sweep. I would take it as we need a sweep or we need to win the series. We cannot do what we did this series where we lose the series. If we're going to make the playoffs or make a push to make the playoffs in this 60-game season, and the announcer said it most, Victor Rojas and Mark Gubicza said it most. Listen, this ain't a time to be playing around. This ain't a 120-game season. This is a 60-game series. These games count. So the more games you lose, the more that's going to hurt you. The more games you win, the more games that's going to help you get to the playoffs. And if the Angels somehow can't make the playoffs in an expanded season where the playoffs to the point is wide open to get to, I'm going to be very disappointed, and this team's going to have more issues than we think it is. And who knows? It might start from the head up top, and stuff like that. So, that's all I got to say in terms of really, in terms of essentially this series the Angels had against the Oakland Athletics. Like I said, hopefully the Angels retaliate tomorrow. Hopefully Rendon comes back, whether it's as a DH or he's managing to play third base. Hopefully he's able to play third base because Simmons will probably be out for some time. Who knows how long he'll be out? He looked like he really twisted that ankle really bad. So we're going to have to see what's going to happen next. So, yeah, those are just my thoughts on the Oakland Athletics series. And the next series, I'll do the same thing. Record the video the same night, have the stats ready. And, yeah, so other than that, I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you guys and you Angel fans on the next video. So if you like this video, leave a like. Put in the comment section, what do you think the Angels need to do going to Seattle that they need to win? Does it have to be the bullpen needs to be better? Does it? And I think more than likely, most people are definitely going to have to say the hitting for the Angels need to take a step up and be better. So, yeah. Also, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Angels baseball content. So till then, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.